Grand- Oh my God, it's February the 26th, 2025. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for showing up. My name, for those who don't know, my name is Lakeisha LeGrand, also known as Madam Finance, because I help everyday people build wealth with confidence. How about that? That means you and you and you and you. I am so excited about 2025. I'm excited. We're just in February. You know what's so good about that? We still got so many months to go to make a difference in our lives and other people's lives. I'm just so excited about 2025. And I'm so excited about our guest today, Miss Melissa McClary Davis. Woo, one of the digital marketing gurus. Okay. I was reading her. I was reading her bio. I was like, okay, then I can't say all that. I'm gonna let her talk about talk about what she does today. So, for those who know, I love to start off our um our show with a millionaire and billionaire success story. It's been a while since I read this success story. This particular person is no longer among us, but she has an amazing story for women. Because, women, we rising up these days. We rising up. Okay. So, our today's Wednesday success story is going to be on Gabrielle Coco Chanel, the wealthy designer, business owner, and founder of the multi-billion-dollar brand Chanel.
Lakeisha, we don't see you. We just see, yeah, the paper.
I don't got my glasses. I don't got my glasses. Okay, here we go. Let me go. Let me go over here. Okay, I do apologize.
Okay.
I'm gonna start all over, okay, because I done lost my spot. Our Wednesday success story is going to be Coco Chanel, Gabrielle Coco Chanel, the wealthy designer, business owner, and founder of the multi-billion-dollar brand Chanel. I know y'all remember Chanel. Y'all don't remember Coco Chanel, the
Yeah.
perfume? Okay.
Mhm.
She didn't start out like most people would think. Her mother was unmarried. She was a laundry woman, and her father was a street vendor. They were very, very poor, traveling from town to town, finding shelter in rundown buildings. Her mother died when she was 12 years old, and her father gave her away to an orphanage in central France. The orphanage was a congregation of the Sacred Heart of Mary, founded to care for the poor and rejected, including providing shelter for abandoned and orphaned girls. Life in the religious institution was very strict and food was limited. But this could also be deemed as the best thing that could ever happen to her because it was there where Chanel first learned to sew and make clothes. At age 18, Chanel was forced to leave the orphanage to make room for younger abandoned girls. She eventually found shelter in a boarding house for Catholic girls in Moulins. Having learned to sew at the orphanage, Chanel was able to get a job as a seamstress. She also sang to make money, and people would pass a plate around to collect money if she sang well. She saved her money because she dreamed of one day owning a clothing shop. And with the help of her then boyfriend, she opened her first boutique in Deauville, France. Her clothing was very fashionable and unique. She quickly gained a rising reputation for being on the forefront of fashion, and her initial success encouraged her to start another shop in Biarritz, which prospered as a venue for the wealthy during the First World War. Chanel worked very hard to build her business and become very wealthy and famous, and one of the most successful and sought after fashion brands in the world. She named the iconic perfume Chanel Number 5 based on her daily prayer routine that the nuns at the orphanage required for her to do in circulars of five. She said it would bring her good luck. She was correct. Chanel was an innovator in many aspects of fashion. She developed a new kind of jewelry which imitated much more expensive jewelry. It enabled wealthy people to keep their expensive jewelry at home. It was called costume jewelry, which is now used and sold by virtually every successful designer in the world. Today, as a result of Gabrielle Coco Chanel never giving up on her vision, her company Chanel has revenue of over $5.2 billion dollars a
Wow.
year and gives millions of dollars to charities helping the disadvantaged all over the world. I declare and decree that we are all a success story. Okay? Whether you want to own your own business or whether or not you want to own stock and own somebody else's business. Okay?
Hey, hey,
Hey, we are a financial success story. Okay? Do y'all see it? Do y'all see it? More importantly, do you?
Amen. Amen.
Okay? I am a success story. You are a success story. So welcome, Russ. Welcome, Valencia, Joy, Riola, Stacy. Welcome, everyone. I really truly appreciate you tuning in. I hope I'm sure this information that Miss Melissa is going to share is going to be transformational for those that have a business, network marketing business, to be able to help us to thrive. Nonprofit organization, you know. So, Melissa, take it away.
Oh, gosh, I don't know how I can follow you, Keisha. I'm gonna let the room down, let the Zoom down, um, because that was inspiring. I love the story of Coco Chanel, and nothing's better than being inspired by those who before us, those who have done things that you can, like you said, you can follow or you can invest, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hi, everyone. Again, yes, my name is Melissa McClary Davis, and I own a marketing agency called Wise Digital Marketing here in the Metro Detroit area, where I help small businesses find new customers, find ways to grow. Usually in the digital space, digital means, right? Because that is one of the most efficient ways to expand your business. And we're all about like cost and efficiencies. So when Lakeisha asked me, to be on the podcast, I was like, yeah, sure. I've been on podcasts before, and I also teach a digital marketing certification course, so I could talk for hours, but I know we don't have hours. So I will just kind of give a little bit about what I call sort of like to me, the best lessons from a marketer, how to really grow the three rule, the rule of three, in marketing your business. And then open up for questions, and then I can continue on. You just let me know as how long I could go to kind of talk about this. But again, I said my background is digital marketing. I have been working with small businesses here for over 5 years now, full time. So I made that corporate leap. I used to work with in management consulting. I worked with a lot of different brands. I'm not going to go all into that, but brands you have like in your driveway, as you know, we in Detroit, but also in your kitchen. So I worked with a lot of different marketing brands, and I have been in the digital space for a long time. I'm one of those unicorns who started when Amazon was only selling books. So I, I remember the ebbs and flows of the internet and what has changed. And of course, all those key pivotal moments from a technology standpoint that has shifted a lot of small businesses, whether it is the internet, and if it's not the internet, whether it was the moment of your cell phone, right? Having a computer in your pocket and how that has evolved folks in terms of how they can run their business, and whether it was the other fixing point in time where social media and how everybody, in the early, 2010s people started looking at social media and how that affected businesses and how people moved around that. The next big number was streaming, and so cloud computing, the ability to watch movies or have things stream from a cloud, so you didn't have to have a lot of dial-up that had happened in the 20s, and now with the next big thing, as we all know, is around AI and what AI is doing for businesses. I hope everybody is very familiar with AI. If you're not, just go ahead and just, mention it in the chat if you can get into the chat if you're not familiar. But AI has been pivotal with small business owners. It's leveling the playing field on a lot of things that we as small business owners may not have had access to because it was either too expensive and the investment for the output wasn't there. Now it's there, it's in our back pocket. And for me, as a marketer, it is definitely impactful in terms of what we do because our role in marketing is to, like I said, find new customers, set the price, understand the strategy, make sure you bring a great product or offer into the world, and meet the consumer's needs. That's pretty much the gist of marketing. So the fact that AI can kind of build on that, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But let me go ahead and talk about, to me, a value lesson around the rule of three when it comes to small business marketing. There's three things I think for success in your running your business from a marketing success standpoint. The first and foremost things, doesn't matter what business you have, whether it's a product-based business or a service-based business, it is what makes your business unique. So your unique value proposition, and to wrap all that uniqueness up into what I call the brand story. So what is your brand about? What makes you unique? And having that example of a brand story, you really have to have some excellent storytelling. So when it comes to storytelling, that's something that my team has done and continues to do is that we create stories for businesses and we do it through videos. Now, you can find me out there in the socials if you want to, especially like Instagram. It's under Wise Digital Marketing. I'll put that in the chat. Wise Digital Marketing is where you can find me, on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn as well. But one of the things that I also have a YouTube channel where I do put up a couple examples of brand stories that my clients have had. And it's usually when it comes to a brand story, we're talking 2 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, but you just have to let people know who you are, what you're about, and what makes you different. If you out there, and I'm not sure what any of your businesses are, out there, but say you have a product-based business and you're selling candles. I always use candles as an example. Oh yeah, go ahead, Lakeisha, you have a question.
Yes. Okay. So we're talking about having a story, a brand story. So I've been hearing that a lot. I'm with Forbes Riley and her mastermind group, and she always is talking about the story and having the perfect pitch. So when you're talking about the brand story, is the brand story anonymous with having the perfect pitch, or are they two different things? And then question number two, what about those who are network marketers? Like,
Mhm.
when they're a network marketer, they're not necessarily the owner. Like, is it important for them to also have a story or a perfect pitch regarding their product?
Very good questions. Oh, okay. The first question, your brand story and your pitch are definitely two separate things. Your brand story is who and why you exist. And your pitch is more, which includes a little bit of that, right? Is more who and why you exist and why you should transact with me, why you need to work with me, and why I'm moving my business forward. I'm pitching something. I'm pitching an action, you to sell my product in your store, you to give me the funding. So that's the difference. The brand story really tells you a little bit about the story. It's more qualitative, where the pitch I think is more quantitative, where you're going to have to bring in a lot of hard numbers to let people know and to validate why I need to transact or why I need to put out that loan or why I need to, for that business. Now, in terms for multi-level marketers, and here's how it works for you. Everybody needs to have one. Everybody needs to have one. But I'll use my sister as an example. My sister sells Mary Kay, and there are Mary Kay consultants all over the world, right? The brand story is like, why do I want to buy from you, her, versus why I want to buy from somebody else? So, what makes you unique? What's your unique value proposition? What do you give along with that? And some of it can just be simply be your personality and how positive you are when you help women and men who love to wear who skincare and makeup and things like that. You say things in a certain way that can get to them, that can motivate them to like, okay, I am going to do that skincare routine that I said I was going to do, that 5-step routine. So those are some of the things that's part of your brand story that you can kind of pitch that makes you unique and different. Everybody has it in a business has to have something that's unique and different. And it's hard. Like, yeah, like you said, when you're selling similar products, but we all have it. This is the reason why, especially in social media, influencer marketing, why people gravitate towards certain groups because they can see themselves in it. Back in the day, especially like with old commercials on TV, it was like that one to many. You see the commercial and it's supposed to resonate with many people. Nowadays, because of the advent of social media, of how people interact with folks, whether it is online or what I like to call the dark web, which is like texting and DM and things like that, how people interact is more one-on-one. But so it's more customized to the individual, and your brand story can kind of get there. I might want to buy Mary Kay from my sister because, she is a married woman. She lives for the Lord. She also worked on a GM plant line, and she is a anesthetician, and she loves to help women of a certain age versus someone else who may have a different demographic background and targets a different group. So those are the differences. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so very much.
So like I mentioned before, the first thing is to have the brand story. The second value to have, which is one that I know it's very hard for folks, especially small business owners, where we're all sort of working within our confines of the budget that we have, is consistent visibility and getting out there in various ways where people see you. And what I mean by consistent visibility, there's several ways you can do that, right? There is your social media that I know people talk about, the care and feeding of these platforms. You don't need to be on all the platforms, but just the idea of being out there, right? This podcast in itself is a great example of consistent visibility. You guys, and according to Lakeisha, you guys are out here every week, consistency. And really laying into that. It's not just a post, it's just posting on a consistent basis is important. Sending emails on a consistent basis is important. Why is that consistent visibility important? Is because people will gravitate toward you, and we can all relate to this, even how we transact or how we buy or how we make a decision with a business. We see something on a regular basis and we have a problem that we have, and then we want that business or what that service can help solve that problem. It's going to be a point in time. You could have that problem 6 months from now. You could have that problem next week. And so you need to be out there consistently so people can kind of like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. And that might be somebody who can help my problem. I know I have done this. We get hundreds of emails a day, right? We're not opening them all. And, some of them are going into um, just unopens. But just imagine you're doing something, you're kind of like, I need to get that. I really need to do that audit on my, it's tax season. I really need to do the audit that I should. And an email pops up in your inbox, like, hey, we'll provide you with an auditing of your business for X amount of dollars. And sometimes you think it's like, all right, are they reading my mail or how do they know that's happening? How do they know I do that? Or maybe you're out there, having to go to a birthday party in a week and you're looking for the best gift to give somebody who has everything. And all of a sudden you see these messages out there like, that might be a nice gift to get. That's where consistent visibility lies in, and it's important. When it comes to social media, it's important. It really depends on your industry, how often you need to post. It's not like 20 times a day or things like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be that crazy. With the algorithms today, a post that you made maybe 3 days ago could hit somebody's inbox, could hit somebody today or next week, because it's all about like how these algorithms are playing in the road. Lakeisha had another question.
Yes. Okay. So we have a diverse of people on here. We have network marketers. We have a young lady who has her tax business. I have a health and wellness business. We just have a variety of different things. Someone that's in the arts. So I know it's very important to keep yourself relevant. I call it staying relevant. But it's
Mhm.
really challenging for me, my company, Natural Living by Design, to be consistent, to post every day. Like, is there something that we could do to help us to be able to make sure that we're staying relevant? Like, do you have any suggestions?
Yes. One of the big suggestions that I mentioned earlier is you can ChatGPT or using AI will really help you figure out how to post consistently. And again, if anybody who's not familiar with AI, it is a great engine tool that acts as your assistant, can act as a member of your team. So think of it as like an assistant or like a well-trained intern. You tell it what to do, it will do it for you. And with ChatGPT and then some of the social media publishing tools, that can help you with consistent posting and then trying to find what's relevant, right? You mentioned that relevancy with your business, natural living. You have, skincare and healthly deodorant business. What's happening here in the world today? You can go into ChatGPT and it'll figure it out. You could say like, what is happening in the United States today that is relevant for my business, and give me 20 posting ideas with that. You can get even more specific and say, all right, just look at what's trending on Twitter or what's trending in the news, right? I mean, I don't know about you. I'm trying not to watch the news as much, but that stuff comes in. What's happening right now in the world, in the United States, what's happening with our government, right? I look at the government now because it's been trending a lot, and we all know people who work for the government, right? It is like over 2 million people work for the government, so we know that some of those things are being affected. How's the government working with my business? I sell all body deodorant. How are those relevant together? Throw it in the ChatGPT, and I guarantee it's going to find you information of like, here's how it's relevant to that person and how you can talk about it and talk to either those groups or say that content or create that content that could be relevant. So that's one way. You know the question?
Yes. All right. So that's so good that you spoke on that, because if you're not taking advantage of artificial intelligence, you are you are falling behind. I have it at ChatGPT. You have to tell it what to do. I told it was the co-CEO of Natural Living by Design. I told it what all my goals were. I wanted to make my first $1 million. I wanted to be able to sell $2,739 a day on the website. I said all of that. And then I asked it, what do we need to do first? And it broke down what we need to do in January. And it gave me and my business homework assignments. Okay, it said we're gonna work on this. You should do this, do that, do that, do that, all the way down to the end of the year. So it gave you that information, right? But it's not going to do me any good if we don't execute on the information that is giving you, because it's definitely going to save you so much money. It's like you hiring a business strategist. It will cost you hundreds of thousands to put them on payroll, where this right here will save you a whole lot of money. And tell it is an expert in growing small businesses, and it's your business partner. And I just think that even with your network marketing, whatever it is that you're using, I think that we should use. Even though a lot of people are against it because they feel like you're not using your brain and all that, but you are. Because everything that they post, I don't like. I'm like, okay, well, what about this? Well, let's change this. So I really highly encourage everyone to use it to your advantage, especially when it comes to marketing.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? You said everything that I could say. Exactly. Because it's like the internet right now. If you're not on it, you're falling behind. And and I know, I know we know people because I know people who are still leery of the internet, and yet they're falling behind. This is definitely one of those that are falling behind. I see another hand up. I see Queen. You have a hand up.
Yes, I was just thinking about um, the email, which is like, but yeah, Chat GPT could just write out emails regarding, whatever my topics are so that it comes out on a regular basis.
Yep.
So that just gave me that was always like, writing all these emails, on a consistent basis. And I do, there's one brother who's like a coach,
Hmm.
and he's always sending something, and it keeps him relevant in my mind for
Hmm.
when I am able to use him, because I know that he is doing what he would tell me to do, one. and and the information is relevant, and I know that he's got to be using Chat GPT to come up with that all the time, nice and fresh and nice and on time, in time. um, so that thanks for bringing that up, because I deal with natural hair health and beauty, and
Hmm.
so yeah, so thanks for that. And then even keeping up with the industry, I don't have to do all that research.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can do it for me. Like what are the laws or what are the rules? What cities or states are have a license, and because I've dealt with that as well. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will help you a lot. And when it comes to social media, I have it. I use it with a couple of integrators. If you go out to my Instagram, not my Instagram, my YouTube page, which is Melissa McClary Davis WDM, and I'll put it in the chat. I just did a series of my favorite things on my live, and one of them was around in AI and integration and how you can set it, not really set it and forget it, but you can get to almost a point of setting it and forgetting it and have your social medias auto-published based on using ChatGPT. Terry, I see your hand is up. Go ahead. Oops. Okay, Terry.
Sorry about that. My phone, I had to kind of double tap to get it to unmute. Good morning. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
everyone. My question, I guess, is more so with comfort level. Is there any exercises or advice you can give when creating content, such as videos or stories, having, I guess, the comfort level to even start? Because I think
Yes.
that's my issue. I'm scared to start doing it. And I know probably once I start, I'll become comfortable, but I think it's just that initial I guess, initial point of knowing where to start, how to get acclimated to get that information out.
Yes. And Terry, tell me a little bit about what type of business do you have?
I have tax preparation,
Okay.
credit repair, so in the
Okay.
financial realm.
Um, yeah, when it comes to comfort level, yeah, it's very hard. I always say, and I tell a lot of people today, especially when it comes to just creating a content marketing plan, which content marketing falls into social media, websites, emails, DMs, as well, is I always say start with video. And I know some people like, I don't want to get on video, but just using your phone and even today, and just start going on a social media platform of your choice that you like, or just start creating videos and uploading them and then pointing people to watch them on a regular basis. I like to do lives because when you do a live video, the mistakes got to be there, right? Because it's live. And you don't have to worry about editing. So from a comfort level standpoint, you don't have to worry about editing that first time. But then you could take that live, download it eventually, right? And then you can edit it and prepackage and repackage it. You can take it, you can create a blog out of it, you can create social media content out of it. You could tell people to go watch it in an email. And if you just do that consistently, like this is a heavy season for you, right? Tax season. So come up with like, I'm going to spend 5 days talking about these are the 5 things you need to do prepare for your taxes. And I'm going to spend 5 minutes every day just getting on and talking about that just to get comfortable getting in front of the camera, and just talking about it. From that preparation, it will become easier. I mean, the example I have, like I said, I put my favorite things list out on YouTube. I hadn't done it in a couple of years, and I was using a like StreamYard, and I wanted to broadcast to various platforms at the same time, right? And I totally forgot how to use that tool. And so day one was clunky. I was like, okay, so my Instagram didn't work, but I got it out there. And by day five, I was a master at that. I was able to kind of make sure it was on time. I started on time. And so just comes with, like I said, consistency, getting out there and doing it. And again, letting ChatGPT and help you with that. You can actually put that question to ChatGPT with your business, your personality, how you like, and it's going to give you a plan that's customized towards you. So I would suggest that.
Like,
Joy, you're next. It's your question.
yes, Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. I want to say that you are definitely a great act to follow from Lakeisha because your energy is just as bubbly. And you're very knowledgeable. You're very knowledgeable. And marketing is so important in businesses. They're so important. My question is, are you familiar with lately I've been getting these texts, for instance, like Billy Carson. I don't know if you know who he is, but I'll get a text and he'll say, "Hey, just want to let you know I got a YouTube video just put out there. Check it out." And it's a text, and I'm like, "Yeah, what?" And I got that because I bought products from him. So are you familiar with that kind of marketing? Because I think that's very unique.
Yes, yes, I am. Text-based marketing, and it kind of goes with the question that I don't know who is Samsung SM. I'm a Samsung user too, so you're my favorite person on this.
Yep,
But your
yep.
question, is that you? Or the question was
No, no, that's not me. No.
about the power of the follow-up. And that's what they're doing when it comes to text marketing. There are tools out there that you can do and create text to remind you. I myself, I haven't triggered it yet, but I use a tool that I let people know. I just posted a YouTube video, and I could send them a text saying, "Hey, check out my YouTube video," with a link to YouTube. I am familiar with that. It is called follow-up marketing. It is um, it's the next step when it comes to just getting the word out. It's a part of a campaign of you letting people know that your content exists. And so you create a campaign where it goes out, in an email, it can go out in the DMs, it can go out in your text, so text marketing. Uh,
Okay.
it will go out on your socials as well. And you can create a routine where you do it every day. Like, if you know you're going to post a video once a week, or you're going to talk about a piece of content that's relevant for the week, you just start to work that out and then create all the pieces of it and then execute on that. And there's so many great tools out there that you could use to just make the execution easier. AI is the first engine, but there's all these other tools out there that kind of help you, um, you know, do things unbeknownst to you that you don't have to worry about going in there every day and doing. And social media is one of those things where it becomes so ominous because it's like, oh Lord, I got to post again tomorrow, and I got to
Right.
just go and physically publish the post. That stuff can be streamlined, where you can kind of create so many posts and have that stuff auto publish all day. I have clients that I'm posting on their behalf, and I gotta have all that stuff streamlined. We work 60 days out, so we're working on April right now. So everything else is done, February and March is done, and we're looking at April. I do that for my own as well. I'm working on things right now towards the end of March because I have scheduling comes out, and there's tools out there that can kind of help you with that.
Gotcha.
Metricool is a wonderful tool that I love using when it comes to social media. I'll put that in the chat because you can publish to all platforms from there, and it has YouTube, TikTok, all the different platforms as well there. But the follow-up, there's text marketing tools, 123 marketing. I'll put that out there. Or one, two,
Okay,
three
well, I
text.
definitely want your contact information. I'd like to talk to you afterwards. I have some other
Yeah.
questions. All right.
And I will, yeah, I'll put that in the chat as well. My contact information and anybody, want to book a call. My website, I have a appointment free discovery call where we can talk. It's at the top of my website that you can kind of go and take a look at that. I also have a free community that I just launched, which I'm just offering. It's called Marketing Therapy Lab. I am offering folks just a space to come and talk about marketing because as you can see, I could talk, there's 101 ways to market. And I could talk about this all day, every day, as I do. And so I created a community out there for small business owners that may or may not be able to afford my one-on-one services or my done-for-you services, but they can kind of come and learn as a group out there. So I'll make sure that is also on, if you go to my website, you'll see that too on the homepage to join that community as well. Okay, Lakeisha, you have another question.
Yeah, you did, because I definitely wanted you to share that piece, because I think you have what, the first 100 people to be able. So that's what I was raising my hand up to make sure that you were able to share that information. I actually went on it. I was up around two something in the morning. I went in it, and I really love how you have it set up. I don't know what system you're using, but it was really cool. And it's not a community on Facebook. It's different. So I really truly like that. Also want to piggyback on the Metricool. I really was using Metricool. I really liked it also because it tells you everything about, um, who is looking at your, items, what products that they was looking at. The analyticals is just really, really good to have. I needed some more assistance with that. But now moving on something else. But she's really amazing. She is part of, Natural Living by Design, ended up finally we got the grant and got awarded, and Melissa is helping us. And one of the reasons why we chose her is because Christian based, spiritually based. It just, really just captured my eye of all of those people. So she's a partner with Motor City Match and probably more. So one thing about it, one reason why I brought her on here, because you always have somebody to say, "Oh yeah, I could do this. I could do this. I can help you. I could." But just listening to her and her own professionalism and how she's running her business made me feel really, really comfortable to share her with you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. Yes, yes, everybody. Yes, yeah, I am. My ticket is punched. My business is called Wise Digital Marketing. It's a DBA, but my LLC is called Prov 31 Works. So I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. And so that's my LLC. So I appreciate you saying that. And yes, I do, I'm a service provider for Motor City Match. Also, I work with a number of different providers in Detroit. Prosperous Detroit is another one. TechTown, TechTown's one of my clients as well. I'm a provider over at TechTown. Oh, y'all folks out here in Oakland County, Oakland Thrive. I am also a service provider for Oakland Thrive. So if you have an County business, Ann Arbor Spark, so I'm all over when it comes to helping with small businesses. And I've helped over 300 businesses in the last 5 years. On top of course, working with big brands and businesses before that. I like to say I started when I was 10, but I've been in this game for a minute. But let me go to the third thing, the third rule. So we talked about the brand story. We also talked about being consistently visible, and we talked about it from a social media standpoint. That's also including advertising. So by being online or having your ads out there as well, and how to do that, relatively cost efficient. The last thing is customer experience or that customer Yeah, the customer experience and how they are represented or how you represent yourself when you're interacting with your customers or your clients. That's the word of mouth marketing. Lakeisha just demonstrated, I appreciate it to you and how she's, letting people know about what I do. But it's like creating this group of raving fans and followers, past business clients that can help and give your testimonial to other people. So that's another critical thing. The best thing about it is it's free, right? So getting ratings, getting reviews, getting testimonials, getting people to praise your name mean that you have to give them some sort of valued service. And the best service that you can give, that they love that experience working with you, they're going to share it with others. When you do have a list of fans, when it comes to businesses, I think depending on their type of business, you don't need millions of people to buy your products. I mean, we all would like that, but if you're a product-based business, we all would like that. But really, you need just some consistent fans of like 1,000 who consistently buy from you all the time. When you have a product, it's not that one and done. It's that lifetime customer value piece where they're repeating, they're referring you out, they're buying additional products, based on what you have, so additional SKUs that you may have. You need a good 1,000, and you could really live a very happy and comfortable life just with that if you nurture that type of group when it comes to business. But your customer experience says volumes. We've been there. We've experienced it. Whether it's going out to an amazing restaurant and the waiter and everything in that restaurant was fun, or if you just even bought a product and you're part of this ecosystem. I think especially multi-level marketing groups, they know how to lock in when it comes to customer experience and word of mouth. That's part of the nature of just that industry. But they want to give you something that's uniquely different than you walking, especially when it comes to a product, you walking into TJ Maxx or Macy's or someplace else to purchase. You can get this amazing experience through multi-level marketing that is unlike anything else. So that's something that you just definitely want to have in terms of the main thing to kind of create value in your business. Lakeisha, go ahead.
So someone in the chat said she is wonderful, amazing. She does the best job she can do for you. That's iPhone 3. iPhone 3, do you sounds like you had personal experience. Would you like to share? That was another reason also why I chose you also. It's a couple people because someone did recommend that you were amazing helping them with their marketing.
Okay, that was Connie Brooks
Hey, Connie.
that said that. She is awesome. I would recommend her to anybody. I mean, I want to be her biggest cheerleader. She is the bomb.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Connie. I enjoy working with, oh my gosh. I enjoy working with Connie, and her husband. This has been a wonderful experience. And Connie and what we've done with her, we just worked on the website and like her ads that we were running for her business. And Connie has it's the cozy, right? It's the dryer sheets, or it's like those sheets. So it's great work. It was great working with you, Connie. I hope we can continue to work again, in the future. Get some more of these grants out here and come on back. For sure.
That is so amazing. Connie and her husband was on our show. Hope you all remember, the cozy dryer sheets, and then she had the laundry bags, and they are really an amazing company. And it's very important that we support one another because it's actually bigger than us, especially supporting Black owned businesses because your nieces, your nephews, your little cousins, your grandchildren, they all need to see more success stories, more success that they can do it, that you're African American. No, quit listening to all those other stories. We are absolutely wonderful and amazing. And we can be amazing. So, yes, it's very important that we support one another, follow each other, get connected, share the information because truly, our community needs more success stories.
I agree. And I'll leave you with this too, because we're in this interesting climate right now. I think this is a climate that's really going to have us come together and garner that. We're already seeing it, right? Everybody, and who has been the target lately? We're already sort of doing these mass collective group as a people. And usually it's when it's darkest when you start to see the dawn and how things are going to really help us as small business owners, different now than say it was like in the 20s, or but before that, because we know what we know. So I see much more success for us in this age than ever. But those are the three rules I wanted to talk a little bit about in marketing. Um, I'll close. If you could do one thing, I say if you could do one thing, just make sure your how they see you, whether they come to your social media or if they read an email or they see you in public or on an event, how they see you, just make sure you put your best foot forward. Make sure they can understand your brand and they can find out a great way to transact with you or interact with you. And then just focus on one thing because it's just one little thing in marketing before you move on to something else because there's so many things you need to do. Uh,
Queen,
You
Queen has her hand up as well as Evelyn, and then I have a
okay.
grant that I want to talk about. Make sure everybody know about this grant.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the third one? I know the first one was your brand story. The
The
second
brand
was
story.
consistent visibility. What was the third one?
The third one is the customer experience, how they interact with you, whether it is in person or online. That experience will get them to be like, oh my gosh, I want to refer you out. I want to tell people about you, about what you do. So you
Mhm,
want to provide so much value to experience that you want to create raving fans.
mhm,
And it could just be as simple as the packaging that you have with your product. Maybe you put a small little handwritten note in something. Maybe you add a little extra gift. It could be just that simple. Or it could be, I take my VIP customers on a cruise and, they go on a cruise with me every year. I know Sassy Jones, I love that website. She used to do that
The
before.
hot water, just turn it on and let it run for a minute.
She just let,
Yeah, you gotta let it get hot.
used to do that on the website all the time. And she would do that with her VIP customers and word of mouth gets around because of it. So that's it. That's the third one. So customer experience, their experience with you and your ecosystem and who you are. And the ecosystem is made up like of your website, emails, social media, DMs, as well as if you have a physical store or in person, how they experience you, it should be consistent with that brand story, imagery, and things like that, but also should be like, wow, this is different. And then I pointed to those who are doing MLM, they have a little bit of a leg up because in a sense that offers experience if you're a multi-level marketer. You get that experience. Like with Mary Kay, you get that experience. My sister just did like a winter refresh here last week, and that was a wonderful experience to learn about new products. So things like that.
mhm. Thank you.
Russ has his hand up, and he's going to be our guest next week. He is awesome and amazing. Go ahead, Russ. What's your question?
Well, first of all, I just want to acknowledge Melissa. You really brought it this morning.
Mhm.
You brought
You.
so much value to this conversation.
Can you come
And since
on camera?
I'm sorry,
Can you come on camera?
not this morning, but I will next
Okay.
week.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say, just since you've been talking, I found you on YouTube and I've joined. I found you on Facebook and I've friended you. You are a secret that needs to be well known, and so I just wanted to share that. I am very impressed with what you bring to the table, and we need to be able to lock arms with people like Melissa because some of the things that's going on, as she's talked about with this climate today, with the political climate, in order for us to be able to thrive, we must do it together. We've got to find a way to not be the Lone Rangers, but really come together, lock arms, support, and be able to bring all these valuable gifts and tools together so that we can really become who we want to be as a people. So I just want to really acknowledge you for who you are and what you're bringing to the table. My question is the AI project. That's not an area that I am super strong in. I do use AI from time to time, but based on your conversation today, I realized I need to step up my game. So, is there any particular AI program that you recommend?
There are three what I call AI engines out there. The most famous one is ChatGPT. That's the one that kind of started it all. So it's called OpenAI. I'll put that in the chat. That's the one I recommend because it has the most longevity and there's enough people out there who know it. Now, each of these AI tools, some of them, most of them are free, but to really get the power of them, there's a cost to them. And so I would, if I had to pay for one, I initially would pay for that one first, but I would definitely pay month to month. I wouldn't do nothing annual. Pay month to month just to try it out. So ChatGPT,
It's
OpenAI,
$20.
yes,
20
$20 a month.
it makes a big difference from the free one to the $20 one. It really makes a
Yeah.
big yeah, it really makes a big difference.
So yeah, I recommend that one. Now there's AI tools that are also being added into like, Microsoft has their own, Copilot is theirs. Google has theirs, which is called Gemini. I typically use them all for different things. Like here's a use case example. I use ChatGPT like I knew I was coming here today, right? I use ChatGPT, to say like, hey, I would love to have a great topic to talk about, on a podcast. And then I may go over to Gemini or Claude, which is another tool. Claude, because maybe I want whatever I'm saying to sound a little bit more human. So each of them has like their benefits, right? So Claude sounds a little more humanistic about it. And then maybe I go to Gemini because it's integrated in all my things. You want to start with one because you want to train it. You want to make sure that it knows everything about you and it'll remember all that, especially on the paid version. ChatGPT has the mobile version as well as the desktop. It has a voice version. I call mine Winston. That's my assistant. So I ask Winston questions all the time, both for business purposes and personal purposes. For example, I started this new weight loss program, and it gave me a list of the foods that I can eat and the ones I can't. On the list of the foods I can eat, I'm like, okay, I need recipes of what can I make with these foods. Give me 2 weeks worth of recipes, but I only want to cook 2 days and the rest are going to be leftovers. And make sure that my shopping list is set to the Kroger's I go to at 12 and Evergreen, and I can get in there and get out. And I put all that into ChatGPT and it gave me my response
Amazing.
back, with the plan. So I would say if you add it to your phone and just start to um, train it and talk to it, but that would be the first one I suggest.
Appreciate that.
How do you spell the Claude?
Yeah.
Claude is spelled like the name Claude. I'm putting in the chat. Um, that one, I like going there. Let's say, because ChatGPT, if you put in a simple prompt, it's going to give you a simple answers, right? You have to really, really engage it in a way to um, make it uniquely yours, and you don't sound like anybody else. What Claude does that makes it so special is Claude will give you a response, and let's say you're writing an email or something like that. It'll humanize it a little bit more. It'll use a little more colloquialisms. It's just a little more human. It's not as robotic in a copy response or copywriting a response.
Mhm.
So I typically go there if I want to, if I'm trying to craft an email, and I need to say something in a way where it sounds a little more human. I would throw my example in from chat just to see what it comes up with. So I like Claude, yeah, Claude, for that purposes. But I typically stick with ChatGPT. The new one that's out that came from China, DeepSeek. I'll put that in.
Oh yes, everybody talking about DeepSeek. I'm working on finding out more and more about DeepSeek. Yes.
I look at DeepSeek as if you think of it from an automotive standpoint, maybe ChatGPT is the Cadillac of the world because it's the oldest and it has all these custom features and it costs a lot, $20 a month. DeepSeek is going to be your Toyota. It's going to be mass produced, cheaper, better quality because it did come from China. And and they're just putting things in there. I mean, there is a reason why United States fears China. I don't, I don't find it as a fear. I think it's just healthy competition.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
Deep
Yep.
Seek is healthy
Yes.
competition, and guarantee you is going to be less than $20 a month when they get to a point. It's free now, so they will have a paid version at some point. I don't know if they have one just yet, but it'll be less because it costs them less to put together, and it's less to produce results because they figured out efficiencies there. Uh,
Yes.
so
One,
that's another tool.
yeah, one thing I want those who are missed last Wednesday when I shared my favorite AI ETF. Oh my God. With
Hmm.
85 companies that's dealing with all artificial intelligence, got the major players in it. Y'all gonna have to go back and look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
did you have NVIDIA in there? Because NVIDIA is probably one of
NVIDIA is one of the top. They are
yep,
the ones who make the chips for Tesla. Like if
yep.
you are not in the artificial intelligence game, you're gonna be left behind. This particular ETF is under $100. It has over 85 of the major players, manufacturers, from the chips, from the hardware. I mean, all the big dogs is in there. Google, I mean, you name it. Yeah, so I will be talking about that again. That's one of my favorite right now in my portfolio. Also, there's a grant I went out and posted in the chat. It's called the Remy Martin Grant from Detroit, for Atlanta, some other ones. I have mentioned to a lot of people to sign up with helloalice.com. I know those who are part of Global Empowerment already know about Hello Alice, but helloalice.com really helps entrepreneurs, network marketers. We were able to get our first business credit card through them when the bank said no, when we had our offer for MMSDC to purchase 700 of our products. We needed to fund that because we had to buy the product, and the bank said no. But Hello Alice said, yeah, I just trusted God. I was like, so they have a lot of different offers there. So if you haven't signed up with Hello Alice, please sign up with Hello Alice because they also talk about the different funding, the different grants. And you can definitely click on that or copy and paste it in the chat and get that information. Let's get that money. Because one thing about it, if you do not apply for those grants, you definitely don't have an opportunity to get it. Okay?
Hmm.
You can do it. Do not let because hundreds and hundreds of people are applying for that same grant to think that you are not anointed, that you cannot receive those grants. You know how many people apply for that Motor City match? I applied for it anyway. Look, now I got Melissa, okay? And after she done, I got more money left to get some more services, okay? So fill out those grants. I'm working on maybe an idea to find somebody from the Philippines. Find you somebody. I'm looking for a team to right now to be able, since I can't fill out those grants that fast, maybe hire somebody to fill out those applications for you. How about that? How about you don't have time? Find somebody who you can pay, and have them fill out the grants for you. Okay. Sometimes we're gonna have to, come up off of those dollars a little bit, and go ahead and do what you can do. So it's 9:59. Anybody have any more questions? I just wanna no.
Someone asked in the chat, how can they get the copy of last week? And it's on your website, correct?
Okay. So I just thought about that as I just thought about that as I saved it because I did it on my laptop and I'm trying to find it. So it is not posted yet, but I'm gonna find it. And yeah. If not, I will do a repeat. We just had our second family wealth circle mastermind, and I shared the same information with them. So if I don't have that one, I'll be happy to share that I'll be happy to share that with you. I see somebody, Stacy, say, I invested in it. I mean, if you are not, I'm not here to tell you what to invest in, but I can share what's in my financial portfolio. And I know artificial intelligence is not going anywhere and it's under $100. It's an ETF that's professionally managed. So you don't have to, if you're a beginner, don't worry about it, because they professionally managing it for you. So it's 10:01 on the hour. I would like to say thank you to everyone who showed up. I'm hoping that this information was invaluable, which I believe it was, because Mr. Hoover spoke and so many other people. So thank you so much, Melissa. We all appreciate you taking out the time to share this information. Thank you all for taking time out of your hour to grow and build on your personal development. Sharing on your personal development. So with that being said, let's give ourselves a hug, because sometimes we need a hug. Okay? I like to kiss myself because I love me some me. Okay? Let's hug the world because the world needs a hug too. And let's just sprinkle some love and light towards, what I'm saying? The president needs some love and light. Let's do some love. We send enough love and light. He may surprise us and things get turned around. Because the Bible does say, pray for those that are in authority. So
yeah, it does.
let's sprinkle some love and light. And I just love you all. And I want you to have a wonderful and fantastic day on purpose. Peace out.